When bioships came out in Star Trek Attack Wing, people fell into two camps. You were a Borg player, typically, or you were a bioship player. In fact, the Nationals or World Championships in 2015 and I think even 2016 came down to bioships versus Borg spheres. It shows their versatility and the stability of the craft. Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game. I'm David, and today a Wave 4 re-review of Bioship Alpha. It's not the Bioship Alpha itself that makes for an amazing ship, although the named ability is interesting. When you attack with your primary weapon, if you inflict at least 3 damage, place an Aux power token beside the target ship. Handing out auxiliary power is always a bonus. It's why Ferengi photon torpedoes are as good as they are. In fact, putting Ferengi photon torpedoes on Bioship Alpha, not a bad plan. Handing out double auxiliary power, kind of fun. In fact, you could turn Bioship Alpha into a complete auxiliary power delivery if you wanted to put a couple of Ferengi photon torpedoes on here. The tech from Excelsior, let's go actually look at that. Make sure we get our names correct here. Positron beam, yes, that's the one. During planning phase, you could really just bury somebody in auxiliary power. I don't think that's a great plan unless you truly have a way of exploiting it. I do think there's a Klingon weapon somewhere that inflicts extra damage if the opponent has an auxiliary power token. Is that the best use of your points, your time? Probably not. But you know what? It could be fun. It could be an option. And I'm trying here to give you an option, right? That's the whole point of what we're doing. 6256, it's a great stat line. I mean, it's tough to argue. You've got the best attack in the game. You've got reasonably good durability, 11. You've got nice evade. You're going to get an evade, at least one on decent most shots. Evade, target lock, scan, regenerate, regenerate, meh. Evade, typically better than regenerate. Scan, going to help out your shots. Target lock, always good for the weapons. No battle stations, tough on the quality. Captains aren't great, but bring in a battle station captain, cross faction if you want, if you play that way. That gives you your options. The bioship is limited. It's only a forward 90 arc. I guess that's the trade-off here. Maneuver dial's okay, but they move slow, and that hurts. They do have a come about. It's nice. They kind of feel Klingon in that regard. But again, lacking the rear arc, it hurts their ability to use secondary weapons. Generics, and this is where they got a lot of play. 36 points for 6 attack dice, 10 durability, a single weapon slot, 3 tech. The 3 tech's nice. Single weapon slot. I would have much preferred losing a tech slot, go double weapon, double tech on them, but you take what you get. The first captain, Bioship Alpha pilot, 7 skill for 6 points. And you go, ooh, that's kind of pricey. Each round during the planning phase, after all other players have chosen their maneuvers, target a ship within range 1 of your ship, look at that ship's chosen maneuver, and then choose your maneuver. The target ship's player cannot change the chosen maneuver after you've looked at it. You may not perform any actions the round you use this ability. Well, that sucks. Would have been a great ability, just to be able to look at somebody's dial and then pick your dial. Losing your action or any bonus actions, it's just not worth it. I can't possibly conceive of any time whatsoever that I would want to use this ability. Now, somebody in the comments can give me a reason, but this just goes in my pile of really bad captains that I don't want to run, ever. And then generic captain is generic. Now, our talent, the weak will perish when attacking with your primary weapon. After rolling your attack dice, you may discard this card and disable your captain card to choose any number of your attack dice and re-roll them up to 2 times. See, normally you're limited to 1 time on a re-roll. So this gives you a second chance at re-rolls. Very nice. Captain Carr, independent, Herogen captain, does a similar effect without it being a talent, but that is his captain ability. This is very pricey. It's a discard. It's a disable of a captain. There's some limited uses with that. I want to think there's a crew Riker, maybe, that gets more stuff. It is crew Riker. It's Hathaway Riker, in fact. Gets a second conversion when the captain's disabled. But it costs 5 more points for any ship other than a Species 8472 ship, and Species 8472 ships don't have tech slots, or don't have crew slots. Now, they do if you use like a repurposed cargo hold. So there's a trade-off. You can get there. There's possibilities. Energy focusing ship. This is 10 points, and any 10-point weapon, you go, ooh, better be worth something. Attack, discard this card. To perform the attack, target all friendly ships within range 1 of your ship that have not yet attacked this round. Target ships cannot make a normal attack this round. Instead, add +2 attack dice to your attack for this attack for each targeted ship. Boy, before Rule of 3, this was playable. Now, you kind of have to ignore Rule of 3 for this to be worth anything. One, it's a 10-point weapon. So really, just the only time this is worth anything is in missions or like custom scenarios. And if you're doing that, you're probably ignoring Rule of 3. That's just the reality of it. So, yeah, because this is thematics. This is the single bioship in the center with multiple bioships on the outside. And that's the only time you're actually going to use a 10-point weapon. And even then, place an Ox power token beside your ship and each of the targeted ships. Really? It's ill-conceived. I get it. I know, but we're going to move on. Energy Blast. 6-point weapon, 5 dice, not unique. Attack, have to have a target lock. Spend your target lock. Disable this card. Perform the attack. If fired from a Species 8472 bioship, add +2 attack dice. So it's really a 7 dice for 6 points. But bioships are rolling 6 dice naturally. And I could have 6 dice and a target lock. Or I could have 7 dice and no target lock for 6 points. I'll leave that math to the viewer. Biological attack. 5-point weapon. At the end of the activation phase, if your ship base is touching an enemy ship base, you may discard this upgrade and disable your captain to inflict 1 critical damage to the enemy ship's hull, even if it has active shields. Then disable 1 crew upgrade of your choice on the enemy ship. You can only purchase this for an 8472 ship. Very situational. Very expensive for what it is. But I love the effect. If this was a little bit cheaper, if it didn't have the crew disable part, if it was just inflicting the crits, thus it was cheaper, this would be a cool card. If you gave me 3 options, in fact, if you gave me the crit, if you gave me this card as a whole, and if you gave me the just, if you're bumping disable 1 crew upgrade of your choice on the enemy ship, I'd take all of those and let them, each part be cheaper. Maybe each part is 3. Maybe the disable's 2. Then the combo's 5. I'd take each of those. Bioelectrical interference. 6-point tech. Action, discard this card. Target all other ships within range 1 to 3 of your ship. Target ships must discard all tokens that are placed beside their ships except Ox power tokens. A ship that discards a cloak token must immediately raise its shields. In addition, your ship cannot be target locked this round. Oh, that side's nice. This upgrade may only be purchased for an 8472 ship. So the downside is you want to put this on a low captain skill ship. No, sorry, a high captain skill ship, because you want to move after ships have done their actions. But then the second part of it, you cannot be target locked this round, means you want to go low early so that you can't be target locked. It's a weird trade. I like the discarding cloak. I don't like that they immediately get their shields back up. If there's electrical interference, I think it would be hard to raise shields thematically. And I can understand why this is game mechanics have to win, but do they really? I don't know. Anyway, is this a way to slow down cloakers? Yeah, probably. Is this really the way you want to do it? I doubt it. It's 6 points. It's a one-time use. It is range 1 to 3. That's a pro, but yeah, it's a tough trade-off. Now, Quantum Singularity, this is no longer viable in organized play because it's a jump card. It's a warp jump effect. We'll get to warp jump in a while when we touch on the Hathaway. Just know it's not legal for official events. Action, discard this card to remove your ship from the play area, and discard all tokens that are beside your ship, except for Ox Power tokens. During the end phase, place your ship back in play. You cannot place your ship within range 1 to 3 of any other ship. This upgrade may only be purchased for a Species 8472 ship. 6 points, but you get to jump, and you get to jump across the board. It just... In missions, it removes the challenge of navigating somewhere. In organized play, it removes the challenge of flying and facing the right way. Yeah, I'm not going to give it much time. But if you want thematics, it's a cool card. Extraordinary Immune Response. This is 5-point tech. When you defend, you may discard this card to roll 1 extra defense die for every damage card that is by your ship. And boy, in a pre-Rule of 3 world, this was potentially really good because, again, remember, 8472 ships have 5 holes, so you could get 4 extra dice if you got it lined up perfectly. Again, the odds were slim. But without any conversions, extra defense dice are just extra defense dice. If this worked passively, if this worked with time tokens, if this worked with auxiliary power, even if this worked with disables, which it certainly could for 5 points. If this just worked when defending, roll 1 extra defense dice for every damage card that is beside your ship. Boy, that would have made Species really cool. But it didn't. So, as you can see, or hopefully as you can see, the cards that come with Species, very expensive. Bioelectrical interference might be, or bioelectric interference might now be the best of them. Biological attack's kind of cool, though. Neat, different ability. Everything else, not worth your time, I fear. I really fear. I guess the Weak Will Perish has a niche use because you can run it on a Bioship. It doesn't have to be with a Species 8472 captain. It's just ship locked pretty much. So you could run it that way. This is a ship screaming for a recost. Let's see if I don't have Spuds open here. So let's get Spuds open and see what our potential recost is. Named ships at 35 and 34 and generic at 32. So if that feels better to you, that's at least a theorized recost. Yeah. Anywho, um, I like the Bioship. I've enjoyed running the Bioship. It's not the best. At least Alpha's not the best. I think the name ship has some interesting potential, and could be worth something today. But yeah, this is the weakest of the Bioship packs. Generic though, pretty cool. All right, hey, thank you all for watching. Appreciate your time. Until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.